And good morning, everybody. Good Thursday morning here on the 13th day of July. We're so glad you're out there tuned in to our two best hours of local live talk radio here in East Mississippi, West Alabama. Live and in color and all that good stuff. Since we're coming to you on the World Wide Web, on our streaming portion of our show. Glad you're out there. And, of course, we want to hear from you. Our number here at Mornings in Meridian is 601-485-9191. Yes, Roger back on duty today. I told him when I walked in, I said, I'll keep my job on my terms. Let me come in when I want and leave when I want. Oh.
Is that how that works?
Say hi to my main man. Also, kind of like my boss guy, sort of. Oh. Say hi to Rob Atkinson.
I want that contract. Sounds good. I like that clause.
Well, you can have it. I just got to tell you what goes with it.
Oh, okay.
3 other jobs.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. You can come and go as you please, but you're going to have 3 other jobs to pay the bills.
You darn right.
Oh, man.
Well, glad to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you. I made a quick trek down to your favorite part of Florida.
Oh, but, Orlando?
Yeah, but not I could look out my hotel window and see the roller coaster at SeaWorld?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty close to not too far from the airport.
And I could see that, but I just watched them, and I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed watching the roller coaster more than I just would have been on it.
Free.
Yeah,
didn't have to pay to get in.
That's right. Anyhow, it was a work trip. Nothing, no vacation or anything like that. But it was just my other job.
Well, you missed a lot while you were gone.
I know. I'd always miss good stuff when I'm gone here, and I want to get caught up on that. We've got a caller on the line, and let's go to that, and we'll find out what's going on here in Meridian, Mississippi, and the surrounding area. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Hey, Zane.
Zane starting off the batting order here this morning.
Lead off.
Yeah,
brother.
well, I'm sitting here watching you guys on the big screen, and noticed that the national anthem didn't play on Facebook.
Is that right?
We need to fix that.
Well, we can't go live until we actually go live on the mics.
Oh well. I guess. You need to go live and then play the national anthem. Then
I'll give you.
We can't go live because of copyright issues with the music that plays after the national anthem. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I know what you were thinking. Yeah, I was sitting there thinking myself. Well, the national anthem's public domain.
Yeah, but right after that we play taking care of business, and it's copyrighted, and they would kick us off.
Oh, okay. Well, just pay the fee.
Yeah. Easy for you to say.
See, I think the station does pay some ASCAP fees.
Yeah, but as far as Facebook goes, if you play a certain amount, they mute it and you're gone.
Yeah, I've been through that before, so,
yeah.
But, well, welcome back, Roger.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I know you mean it. So
And did you bring us any souvenirs?
I think I have a granola bar that I stuck in my pocket that I did not eat. You're welcome to it.
Okay, well, we'll take it. Hey, do you pass out peanuts on the flight and all that?
No.
Peanuts and alcohol?
Peanuts and alcohol. I don't know. What does that cure?
Well, it's just, I don't know. It's just nice to kind of get toasty while you fly.
Zane, did you catch our interview with Ty Bell Lindsay yesterday?
I caught a little bit of it, and I went and read the letter. Since I didn't catch all of it, I went and read the letter.
Yeah.
And I noticed she deleted my post off Facebook.
Oh.
And she called me and texted me last night, but I was already in bed asleep, so it was a long day. So I got to call her back today and talk to her.
Okay.
But the council and what I told her, I said, we're reaping what you sowed. We had a good police chief that they didn't like, and so they threw him out. And she's all about him and his personality. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the job he did, and he did a good job. And, you guys threw him out for politics, and then, all hell broke loose.
Well, and her answer, I thought it was a fair question yesterday. I asked her straight up. I said, do you have a regret in voting the way you did? Because we remember how the vote went. It went 4-1 because we had the 4 obvious new council members. Of course, Dr. Thomas was the only remaining old face from the previous council, but she said that Chris had his pros and cons, and she said the mayor really didn't fight for him during the process. He simply just put Chris up for that position. So she laid a little bit of the blame on the mayor's side, but then again, I said during the second hour yesterday, I was like, there has been that narrative in the community that, the mayor didn't really want Chris Reed as the police chief. He simply put him up for obvious political reasons. But then again, the council still has the final say on the appointments by their vote, and it was obvious it was a 4-1. So.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like there was a lot of, and I was one of them. I said, Jimmy, who are you going to put as police chief? Well, I'm not going to support you unless you come out on keeping Chris. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of people that I understand that did that said, this is, we will throw your support if you do this. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, he kind of, gave up on that too quick, I think.
Yeah.
And so, that was a problem. But the council wasn't going to let him go anyway.
Mm-hmm. And of course,
that was his comment.
And I asked her straight up yesterday about the current police chief, and she said that she does not support her at all, and she would love to see a different chief there. But we're kind of at where we're at right now. So do we still have the same chief? Because I heard that she resigned. No, that's false.
It's a false rumor, and it just shows you can't believe everything you hear, read, see.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Well, anyway, I don't know if it makes a difference if we got one or if we don't, because what we have is, but yeah, we need better leadership in the police department, and that's where everything, by getting rid of Chris Reed, everything just kind of went south there. And I don't know the guy. He's not my buddy or anything. I have crossed paths with him one time and really didn't even talk to him.
And, to be honest with you, yesterday she did admit, and we can all agree on this, that when Chris was the police chief, you had visibility with the department. I mean, Chris was out there in the community. You saw him. He was visible at meetings, stayed in touch with the media a pretty good bit. And Roger, he was on this show several times, and he did make appearances. So she did give him that much credit yesterday, that he at least was visible, unlike, let's be honest, the current folks that are there. So,
well, now you did invite the chief, and she did come on.
She did come on, so and maybe
probably just waiting for the next invite. Maybe,
yeah,
you can invite her again.
Yeah, we can.
Well, the rumor comes out she's gone, and nobody's seen her since. So, I mean, if she's there, if she's not,
well, you can't really say that, because there was an accident out there by the railroad on Highway 11 south by the airport, and I saw her out there with the in uniform with the officers.
And when those rumors started up, I immediately messaged Ida Brown, who's public relations director with the city, and she said that is completely false. She's still the chief. So
now I got something for Zane. Whenever we're finished with this topic, there is something I got specifically for Zane.
Okay, Roy. Come on.
He's like, come on.
No, I don't want to get out. Let's. I'll save this, but. I discovered something last week as I was in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. And I believe that I probably have a flying career because of hockey.
What?
Oh.
What?
I think there's a connection between my having an ability to fly airplanes and hockey. All right.
Well, come on.
All right.
Come on. You got us on. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yes, you are. Well, and
about to fall over.
And what's terrible, I was sitting there taking a picture of this childhood photo of Wilbur Wright. He was 11 years old, and we can't. I mean, hope this is it.
There you go.
It says that when he was 18, he was hurt in an ice hockey accident. And his plans to attend Yale University and become a teacher evaporated.
Oh.
And so for the next 3 years, he convalesced at home and took care of his sick mother until she died in 1889. So in his spare time, he read books. So how do I correlate that to him being responsible for, or hockey being responsible? Well, I think that if he had gone to Yale and became a teacher, he probably wouldn't have pursued the dream to, go into the bicycle business with his brother and then fulfill his dream to create a flying machine.
Yeah, well, I guess you got a point there.
So
I mean,
a hockey
stretch
injury
going from the bicycle business to the airplane business, but hey, it worked, I guess.
Well, I don't know. It's all. It was then sprockets and chains, and of course, then they added the motors. But that was anyway. That was I was able to pay my homage to the holy site there at First Flight there. I've enjoyed that last week when I had an opportunity to be in the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Nice.
But I saw that photo and I said, doggone it, I can't be out here on this little vacation and not think of Zane Royal when it comes to this picture here.
Yeah, that's it. And when you flew over Charlotte, did you see the crack in the roller coaster?
No, I didn't. It was kind of underneath the rail and I couldn't see it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
they probably use that the white color duct
hurt
tape
in
to
a
blend
hockey
in.
accident. Hurt in a
about
hockey
that?
accident, and convalesced
And
for
so you
3 years
build
at home.
airplanes.
So he did not go to Yale University, and though he in turn led the life he did. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that at you because I thought you'd be. I know that at some point you're going to share that with somebody else.
Yeah, and hey, look, when the hockey reports start back up in October, you'll just have to be more friendly to that because I'll say, look, Roger, the only reason you have your fourth job is because of this.
I know it exactly. So.
On July the 13th, you brought that story. There
Yes,
you go.
I thought I'd share that with him. But interesting, it's funny. You learn things about. I do like history. I like learning about some of the things that affect people's lives and allow them to do what they do.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hate it when you're in high school, but you find out it's pretty cool afterwards.
Yeah. Well, there you go, sir. Well, anything else you want to lay on us before we let you go this morning?
Well, I had a guy come look at my Ferris wheel yesterday wanting to buy it, so you need to up your price on it.
Oh, that's good news.
Yep.
So,
all right.
Good luck
Well,
on getting rid of your Ferris wheel.
Well, I wasn't really trying to get rid of it, but if somebody comes up with cash money, it's gone.
Cash money.
Cash. All right.
Is that still legal? Can you still spend cash?
Well, you did beep this out, right? Where it doesn't go out for anybody to hear.
The bleep button.
I didn't know you were allowed to have cash or do business with cash.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I tell you what I'm talking about. I think I'm talking about where this country's headed is what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Yeah, it says it's written on it. It's legal tender for all debts, public and private.
What happens
stay
if
on the private side with that?
What happens if you go down the road, you get pulled over, and you've got say $10,000, $20,000 worth of cash in your car? What happens to you at that point?
I have actually had that happen before.
Didn't mean to scratch that one.
And everything gets searched.
And did they keep your money?
No.
Oh,
But
good.
they didn't find anything else in the vehicle.
Oh, okay.
But that happened up in around Greenwood, Mississippi one time about 25 years ago.
I see. That's 25 years ago. Let that happen today
Yeah, I
and
was
see
about
what
to
happens.
say, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they come unglued over that, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm pushing a Carnival.
Yeah.
And, I can't pass a broke down truck. I got to have something to pay for the trucks with when they break down.
Yeah. Well, I can assure you that I think the powers that be would love to see cash go away.
Yep, that's it.
All right. We got another caller behind you, but good to hear from you, Zane. Listen, you take care of yourself.
You guys have a wonderful day. Take care.
All righty.
Right.
Mornings in Meridian, 601-485-9191. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right, Roger.
Hey, good to hear you, sir.
Zane, he's full of history all the time.
I was going to say, I was wondering what you were going to say after full of.
Well, I don't know about the rest of it, but I'm glad to hear you talking about the Wright Park up there. I was fortunate enough to work the 100th anniversary of that. It was a whole week of it up there. And,
Oh, wow. Yeah. That was a big event up there.
oh Lord, it was.
I saw pictures, and I was kind of glad I wasn't there.
Yeah, and our favor. It rained a lot up there, but they did manage. They had a replica. Some people had made a replica of the flyer.
The Wright Flyer, yeah.
Yeah, and they managed to. They tried, and it got wet. The fabric got wet on it, and it didn't work the first day. But the weather broke enough that they finally got it to fly. And
I had forgotten that they had actually flown 3 flights that day. The first one was like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And then their third one was a little bit further, and then I think the last one was actually 59 seconds.
Yeah, and the rails and all that's still down there. The track that they launched, they went and launched it on.
Yeah.
And all, but. Did you walk around any up there?
And yes, I did. I walked up on the monument. I walked the actual flight track of the first flight, and that third flight was 59 seconds, and they went a total of 852 feet.
Wow!
Right.
In the air, powered by their machine, and then the engine I think blew a cylinder or something, so that ended that day. But that's
somebody was talking about getting into the airplane business. There was no airplane business at that time. They were starting an airplane business.
That was first heavier than air powered flight machine. But anyway, I'd always wanted to go there, and I just happened to be in the area. I was in Elizabeth City, and I said, well, the wife and I took an opportunity to drive over there.
Yeah.
And it worked out pretty good.
I really enjoyed that week up there. Got to meet a lot of people and all, and Aaron Tippin was there. He's a big aviation fan.
Oh, well, then I'm a big fan of Aaron Tippin. Well, I always have been anyway.
But his father was there, and I want to tell you, me and him talked. That old fellow was something. He was in World War II, and he flew the Navy Corsair.
Oh, wow.
And he was telling a story about when they were invading Okinawa and taking over. He said he was in the Marines, I believe.
Now, folks, if you want to know what a Corsair is, it's that Navy propeller airplane that has those gold wings that kind of dip down and then back up again. Kind of a strange-looking bird. And you know, there was a Meridian notable. There was a Meridianite who flew one of those too, who's no longer with us, but you would know him by name, and that was Mr. Al Rosenbaum.
Oh yeah.
I think he was a Corsair pilot.
Yeah, but Mr. Tippin, we talked and talked, and he was telling a story about being his part in Okinawa, and he said, boy, there was some zeros hot on him, and he was staying pretty close, and he pulled up to go over, and he was looking back at. And all of a sudden, he looked up and he went through some palm tree things. Oh. And he looked back, and there was a hole just the size of his prop in the tree.
Good night. But, that's pretty low right there.
Well, yeah.
Well, good stuff. Well, Gerald and folks, can I just tell them that you have you're retired from aviation business, particularly you in the FAA, right?
Well, I went in the Air Force when I was 17 and got into the aviation business and stayed in it.
Mm-hmm.
And got out, and then I made my living in aviation. In the last 20 years, I worked for the Federal Aviation Administration.
So you actually flew then?
Yeah, I had a pilot certificate and all, but I turned it in because I get vertigo real bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't want any kind of temptation.
Yeah.
If you've never had vertigo, you can't understand, but airplane, you get it set up right, it'll probably take off on its own, but landing is something different.
Well, I tell people anybody can bring a plane down.
Yeah, oh yeah, gravity still works.
Anybody can get a plane down. It's just, is it going to be reusable or not?
That's right. But no, and aviation's been good to me. I've had some tough times in it and all, but overall it's been good to me, and it really wasn't a job.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it, and but
you'll always go down as one of the FAA employees that we actually liked.
Well, Roger, I had worked in the industry so long and had dealt from one side of the FAA, and when I got in there, I tried to treat people the way I wanted to be treated. And
that was noted, and we appreciate you so much for all you've done.
Well, all right, Roger. Y'all take care and have a good day.
Thank you, Gerald.
Bye.
Mornings in Meridian. That's what this is. Got a nice little community front porch. We're sitting here talking everything from flying to hockey to local politics, city council, and all that kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happens when you sit on the front porch.
That's right.
All different kind of topics come up.
Pass the iced tea.
Maybe we should get rocking chairs in here.
Yeah. Wouldn't bother me none.
He is doing this all morning. Well, let me tell you.
I'll tell you one thing. He ain't gonna believe it.
Back in my day. Anyway, glad you're out there. 601-485-9191. This show brought to you in part by our good friends down there at
Martin Roofing.
Oh, Doug and Doug.
That's right. 30-plus years they've been doing roofing. Well, they've been doing it right for 30-plus years. They're locally owned and operated, licensed here in the state, and they take pride behind all their work from start. And, folks, we mean this all the way through cleanup. I've seen it myself with the roof they put on my home. And, of course, they got roofing applications, shingles, metal, rubber, commercial. And, Doug Jr. will jump up on the roof. Well, not jump. He's going to climb up there and check out your roof, give a good inspection, give you an estimate. And, it's a pretty easy process. Insurance companies, all that kind of great stuff. 601-485-5920. They're members of the Better Business Bureau. Folks, they're awesome, fantastic folks. And you'll see those little red and white Martin Roofing signs all over town. Say it with me, just about as many as the coroner candidates.
Coroner candidates. Yeah, there you go.
601-485-5920. Martin Roofing for mayor. There you go, Martin Roofing.
Martin Roofing for coroner. No, I don't know, something like that. All right, Mornings in Meridian. It's time to take a break for Fox News. We'll come back. We want to take your calls. Our number, write it down, dial it up, 601-485-9191. We shall return. yeah. Mr. Tambourine Man. I always enjoy a nice little trip back to the drug culture of the 1960s.
I'm about to say.
Don't you, though? Just kind of, well, you see, Rob, I was there. I might have been in my little toddler jumpsuit, but I was there.
You was there.
I was there.
Somehow, some way.
That's right. And didn't know what all was going on. Didn't know what Tambourine Man meant back then. But
now you do.
But playing that because Roger McGuinn of the Byrds is 81 years old today.
All right.
So he remembers the drug culture. Well, wait a minute.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think. He may not remember much about what happened back in the 60s. In fact, some people say if you remember the 60s, you probably didn't. Anyway, yeah. Did enjoy it.
You said it.
We're glad you're out there, folks. Other birthdays include, while we're on the topic, Cheech Marin, 77 years old today.
How ironic is that?
What are you talking about, man?
And, of course, here's one for you because you just saw his movie. Harrison Ford turns 81 today.
Oh, man. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Or in AI years, he's about 30.
I know, right? It was good. I liked it.
There you go.
It was great.
And, of course, if you're a Star Trek fan, you must know that Patrick Stewart is 83.
Oh.
Yes. There you go. There's a list of some birthdays for you. I hope yours is a good one. Oh, here's one for you. If you're a Hogan's Heroes fan, Bob Crane would have been 95 today.
All right.
Had he not been murdered. Anyway. All right. We're glad you're out there tuned in. This show brought to you in part by our good friends down there at Premier Paint and Body Shop. If you have a nick, bang, crash, whatever, keep this number in your phone, 601-482-PAINT. Tell us about it, Rob.
That's right. Of course, Danny Shelton and the staff. Roger, I think it's safe to say now that Danny and them have over 100 years combined experience in the shop.
Oh, man, that's very safe to say that.
You know, they got good painters down there, body guys in the shop there, and, of course, don't want to forget about the office staff down there at Premier. Always taking care of things. They're the real folks behind the scenes there that don't get enough credit. But I tell you what, good folks down there at Premier. Like new results, of course, they do auto body repair, some painting, some automotive glass replacement as well. They'll give you a free estimate. Of course, they are the bridge between you and the insurance company, and they're located at 1210B Highway 39, right next door to our good friend Lee Allen and the folks at Johnson Dodge. You can't miss them right there on Highway 39. They're going to open up in just a few minutes at 8 o'clock, about 20 minutes away. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And you heard the number, 601-482-PAINT. That's 601-482-7246. Danny and the staff at Premier Paint and Body.
Caller on the line, but I'm going to get there in just a moment. Hold on, we're going to get you there. But I've got a new TV series I'm going to have to binge watch in my spare time.
Okay.
Because I really didn't watch it in total when it was on. But you ever heard the show News Radio?
Seen a few rerun episodes, yeah, with Phil Hartman.
With Phil Hartman, the late, great Phil Hartman. Well, my buddy up in Asheville, North Carolina, Patrick Williams.
Yeah.
He's a minister up there at the Foster Memorial Church. And he sent a mug to me, as you saw.
That's
came in the
studio. Station mug.
And it's the call letters that they used on the show.
Oh.
WNYX 585 AM. I mean, that's pretty low on the dial.
585 AM. I like that.
But anyway, well, I'm looking forward to having some coffee in my new mug. And I don't know if Patrick's watching right now, but
I have an idea.
Just one. What's that?
We could get mugs.
We could get mugs.
But we couldn't put our faces on. We have to have like the little interchangeable like magnetics we could put somehow in the cup, like
put them all around there.
Yeah.
But I've got to go check out that show because it's just I got some good characters in that show. So.
Yeah. Oh, Phil Hartman was great.
He sure was. All right, mornings in Meridian. This is Real News Radio. That's Meridian WALT 102.1, your news talk leader. Let's go to the phones. Caller, thank you for holding on. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Thank you for not holding on. Okay, there we go. We took a while to get to you. Sorry about that. Call us again, 601-485-9191.
Oh, Roger, while you were away, we did have a murder in Meridian. Happened a couple of days back, and the Meridian Police Department has made an arrest.
Well, I've got an alibi, so okay. Okay, so they're not looking for me. All right.
Yeah, a man was arrested and charged in the murder of 48-year-old Tonio Matthew. This actually happened back on Tuesday morning. We were doing our show, and they had found a body here in Meridian that was shot in the head. And, of course, there was, obviously just some rough details at that point. But they have arrested Tommy Croft Jr., 35. He's been charged with murder and grand larceny. According to Meridian Police, his bond has been set at $1 million for murder and $10,000 for grand larceny. Matthew was found shot to death on the side of the road in Meridian on Tuesday morning. Meridian Police released a statement saying they would like to thank the community for their assistance in the apprehension of Croft. Police went on to say they cannot solve these crimes without your assistance and support. So once again, big kudos to the Meridian Police Department with some, as they said in the statement, help from the community, and they've arrested a suspect, and also the grand larceny charge on top of the murder.
That's what they've always said, is that they need the help from the community to make these arrests. So, folks, I'm glad you're stepping up. Let's make Meridian safe again.
Yep.
601-485-9191. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys. I come in peace.
Peace.
I love everyone.
everybody.
There's nothing you can do about it.
That's my friend, Mr. Powell.
Yes,
How you doing, my friend?
Hey, man, I'm enjoying life and receiving my uneligible rights so I can have the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness.
Okay, very good. Well, good for you.
You know, we just celebrated the 4th. And, I was just thinking, back in 1776, when this was declarated, if the 13 colonies had came in alignment and freed slaves to go along with this statement, how much powerful that would have been at the time.
Well, I can't deny that. That's for sure.
But as we know, it took almost 100 years in the making for it to come to fruition. But, hey, once we got started and the other stumbling blocks in the way, but we still chipping away at it.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a question there to the professor. It's a professor on there, right?
And, of course,
No, this is Rob. So I did get my professorship, but it was at a Holiday Inn. So
the only thing I profess is to know very little.
there we go.
Okay. What's the difference between uneligible right and ineligible rights? Because it seems like they get interchanged.
Now, I think the word that you're looking for in the Declaration of Independence is inalienable rights. In other words, those are rights that are, they're not even up for debate as to whether you have these rights or not. They're inalienable rights. They are certainly rights given to you by the fact that you're a creature of God and He loves you and all that good stuff. So
yeah, and we got
to
keep focusing on that.
Yeah.
Everybody got to look at it and understand that.
You have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are
Right.
These are rights that can't be questioned, except by some dictators and some tax collectors. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
But
We just got to quit going down that rabbit hole, and everyone can realize, we have a common goal to work toward. That's all I say about it. What happened in the past is in the past. Now we got to work toward this common goal toward the future.
please continue to spread that gospel, sir.
Hey, will do.
Please continue to spread that gospel. It's all about going forward together, not dividing from what happened in the past.
Hey, and I take that message to the corporate boardroom, straight down to the underground market.
And the pool hall.
They call the underground economy, the street
Yeah.
wars, or whatever.
Yeah.
They seem to enjoy it on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to see how far I can go, but it got to be a connection from the top boardroom down to the underground economy.
Yeah. Well, keep up the good work, sir.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Oh, you
All
too.
right. Thank you. There you go. Yeah, the word was inalienable. So
There you go.
I guess these are things that cannot be taken away from you.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Now, life can be taken away, and liberty can be taken away, and happiness can be, that's up to you about happiness, but they can't take away the fact that those are your rights.
Exactly.
So I think that's the message there. Mornings in Meridian. See, I didn't really have to have Dr. Bates here for that answer, but it would have been helpful because he could have expounded much more than I could have.
We could have had a lecture until 8.
I tell you what, if Toby Bates is doing it, I'll sit there and listen.
That's right. You darn right. So.
He can. I remember history classes right after lunch in college, and I'm thinking, why on earth am I sitting here?
I had one of those whenever I was at West Alabama. It was right after lunch. It was like a 1 o'clock class, and it was like everybody was like going to sleep because you ate lunch and you're like, oh gosh, and it was just that monotone. And everybody's like,
I'm hearing you.
But the book was good.
And I did have a World Civ teacher. I love him to death, but he did have a monotone voice.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a Bueller class. It was like
old Ben Stein feeling. Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. Good morning. Welcome to Mornings in Meridian.
Good morning. How y'all this morning?
Hey, good morning.
Real good.
Good. I tried to call in yesterday, but I ran out of time. I just wanted to comment on some things that Jimmy Slay had made yesterday about living in Meridian, born here, and then moving outside and all. We're kind of in the same situation and was talking about the crime.
Mm-hmm.
In 1978, I was a victim of that crime. Roommate of mine, we had a little house and had a stereo system. We had probably around $2,000 tied up in it, and somebody broke in and got every bit of it. We did get a set of speakers back on a stroke of luck, but the point is, crime is nothing new here. It's been going on for years. And then again, in 1996, we decided to move out to the country. We just felt.
What year did you say? 76?
76.
Okay.
78.
78.
I had the first incidence of that, and then in 96, we moved up to the country, and I had left 2 guitars in the house. Already had a realtor, had taken it over, and then I went back a few days after we moved out, and somebody had broke in and stolen those 2 guitars. So I've been a victim of it twice, in a big time way. To me, it was.
And I think we forget the fact that Mattie Hersey Hospital, when it was, for those of you that don't know, we had a charity hospital or a state hospital here that was there to, supply medical care to the less, those who could not afford it, whatever. And we forget that it was always known, even in the law enforcement circles, if you ever get shot, go to Mattie Hersey because they're used to taking care of those type of wounds out there.
Yep.
And we forget that. So, I guess that's one thing. You see, now if I were mayor of the police department, the chief of the police department, I'd dig up some of those stats, and I'd share folks, you talk about Meridian and where we are now. Let me just tell you what it was like back in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, my mother was an RN. She was a nurse. She worked at the old Anderson's Infirmary, if y'all remember that. Are you old enough to remember that? That's before they built the new hospital.
Anyway. Oh, no, I don't know. How are you as old as Roger McGuinn of the Byrds?
No, not quite. I'll be 69 on the 27th.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Okay. So,
but I remember those days.
Yeah. So
some stuff I'd like to forget. But
you knew who the Tambourine Man was then? Okay, gotcha.
Sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Anyway, my mother worked in the emergency room.
Yeah.
At old Anderson's Infirmary, and she used to tell us about all the people that would come in there all cut up and beat up and shot and all that. So crime is nothing new here, And
right.
I love Meridian. I just can't. We couldn't tolerate living inside the city limits with everything that was going on. And so we stroke of luck, God provided us a place to move to.
Yeah.
And we've been out there 27 years.
Wow.
And I'm glad we did move. I still come to Meridian. I have to come to Meridian. I shop here.
Right.
But
right.
I definitely would not want to live. I don't like what's going on with the city council and with the city government. I don't like that at all. I think they could do a whole lot better.
Well, that's the disadvantage we have because you and I and Rob and Charles himself, when he's here, we live outside the city, so we can't get our vote doesn't count. Now we can say things about it, we can talk about it, but we're not allowed to vote about it.
Right, exactly, and that's one thing about it. But
they would tell you, the mayor and all of them would tell you, well, if you want to do something, move yourself back in the city, and so you can have influence.
Right, exactly. But I haven't been a victim of crime since we've moved out there. We've got, like I said, God provided us a good place to go to, and we're happy with it. I've raised my children; they're out of the house. We have an empty nest now, and I don't have any plans to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
I love this area. We moved here when I was about 2 years old. Daddy was in the Navy, and he retired out after 20. And he's a Pearl Harbor survivor, by the way.
Fantastic.
And, anyway, that's
great man.
That's where I get my discipline from.
You was brought up right, son, weren't you?
Well, it's funny. Every day I look myself in the mirror and I see my daddy, and I find myself saying things and doing his mannerisms and stuff. I have to admit, I am my father's son. He was my hero.
That's
but
great.
Anyway, I just wanted to put my 2 cents worth in, and I hope Meridian gets things turned around as far as this crime and the police and all that kind of stuff. I kind of keep up with what's going on, and I just pray that something happens to turn it around.
There you go. We'll join you in that prayer. How's that?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. This Meridian needs prayer.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe it. I don't want to keep you guys held up, but I firmly believe in prayer. I've been a victim of looking death in the face, before. I had a liver transplant in 2007. And when you wake up in the mornings and you stare death in the face, it puts a whole new perspective on living. You change things.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, thank you for your your influence. Thanks for reminding us how blessed we all really are when we can have that inalienable right of life.
That's right.
That's right, and we are blessed, and we better count our blessings. They're going to be taken away.
There you go. Well
all
said.
Right, you guys have a great day.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. That's great. Mornings in Meridian. We're going to take a break, pay some bills, and come right back. I'm Roger. He's Rob.
Yes, sir.
And you folks are you. That's good. It's a good combination here this morning. Buddy Holly.
No more. No more.
Sound like a Muppet, you know?
I know.
Nah, man. We're glad you're out there. Welcome to Mornings in Meridian. And no birthday or anything, just because. Buddy Holly was right there in the record stack. I pulled it out and played it. Since we're back in the 60s and 50s now.
Like I said, we had to go.
That's right. I tell you what. You have any old vinyl anywhere?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Have to go dig it out.
We got an old sofa in the basement that has vinyl. It's kind of torn.
The old sofa. What color is it?
It was no. It's a black. No, I don't. I'm just
say,
using that as a.
Like say one of those plaid ones that's got like rips all in the cushions and everything. So food stains.
I'll tell you what, if you have some ratty-looking furniture in your office, I know a good place you can go and get some nice new furniture for your office. And could you help me out as to where that might be?
Southern Business Supply down in Meridian. Of course, got a big shout out to Billy Adam Calvert. Of course, he's been on the show here before, and he and the folks down at Southern Business Supply, they're family owned and operated there at 5685 Dale Drive in Marion. Of course, they're locally owned and operated, and the friendly sales staff has, Roger, 124 years combined experience. They've got office supplies, janitorial supplies. Good. They got those spring water coolers, break room supplies, full line of office furniture, home office furniture as well. Next day delivery on most office and janitorial supplies. Call them today at 601-485-2447. One more time, that number, 601-485-2447. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Buy local. The money stays right here in the area, and say no to those big box stores. Do your business with Southern Business Supply. And of course, Billy Adam Calvert, appreciate what he does representing his district over in Jackson for us. Does an awesome job.
All right, well, that brings us up to the top of the hour for Fox News Break. Caller ringing in, please call us on the other side of the break, and we'll see you then. Good Thursday morning. I'm so glad you're out there and tuned in to Mornings in Meridian, the second hour of the two best hours of local live talk radio. Roger B. along with Rob Atkinson.
Good morning.
Roger reporting to work again today. Oh, man, I miss y'all while I'm gone, though. Not really. But I heard y'all had some good shows.
Yeah, we did. It was a great couple of days. And, of course, I do appreciate Councilwoman Tybell Lindsay for being on the program yesterday. Yeah, it was a great visit. And talking about, of course, she did admit fully yesterday, in her opinion, the number one issue in the city of Meridian is crime. So that was a big topic of conversation again yesterday. As it is most days.
As most days. And, I think it would be good to go back and get some statistics and just see what crime was decades ago, just to see what the differences are. Let's take a phone call. We've got a caller who's been holding quite a while. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for your patience. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys.
Hey.
Hey, welcome to Mornings in Meridian.
How y'all doing this morning?
Doing well, sir.
Almost perfect.
Well, good. Now I'm going to get the preliminaries out of the way.
Yeah. Now we can get down to the lick log here. What's up?
I got more questions than I have answers, and I've tried to sit down there and everything and listen to it pretty hard and strong there. First thing I guess I need to ask there is, why are they taking and trying to change all the currency, number one? Number two, how in the world did Biden want that many FBIs? Number two, it seems like everybody in the White House is crazy, and they want to be petty. But what I'm asking for right now is, is everybody just going to stand still with a finger up the keister there and let them learn what they're doing over there in them other places?
Now, let them ruin what they're doing in other places. What does that mean there? I'm just trying to think.
It means they running around, running that mouth like.
You're talking about like the president being in, where's he at right now?
He's been all over Europe. He was in.
He was in England. I know that.
I think he's doing a press conference with the Prime Minister of Finland. I think today,
Finland,
maybe
Norway, or one of them.
He's been all over the place. Of course, NATO meetings and having to have people help him off stage as usual. So,
well, just remember, every day that the president spends out of the country is probably a pretty good day for us.
But Kamala's in charge, though.
Oh, take care, Joe. Get back soon.
I don't know about that, but it just seems like every time they turn around, like Glenn Beck. And I ain't scared to say it. I'm not about that much like Joe.
No.
What they need to do is just mind their own business in the United States, get Biden and the rest of them dogs out of the White House, put Biden and his son in the jailhouse. But what I'm saying is, I just don't, before all this crumb and stuff come up, it's everybody putting 2 to 5% in something there. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like pardon me, it's kind of like a hard on there, but once it's gone, it's gone. And I don't understand why people over there across the seas, overseas and stuff, are telling us what we need to do.
Yeah.
And the whole problem exists on kind of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
Well, it's going to be interesting, because if you come down to, I don't know how Trump's going to navigate in the year ahead with the charges against him in the trials and all this kind of stuff. But if it comes down to, should it come down to him again and Biden, it'll be interesting to see how many Democrats, I think, basically just say, okay, I'm not going to go vote for Biden. I'm not going,
just going to stay home.
Just going to stay home. And it'll be interesting to see what happens then.
I think Curley of the Three Stooges there could do a hell of a better job there than Biden and the rest of them.
Yeah, and Curley was probably using the cocaine too, probably. I said they're going to blame it on probably.
He's missed his fix.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just wondering, I was trying to make
sure
sense out of this stuff there.
Here's what you got to do. You got to pay attention to Washington politics and just kind of take it in moderation, because you try to figure it out too much. It really just comes down to whoever's there. It's their turn with the power, so they've got to benefit with power and financially as much as they possibly can while they're there.
Ain't Ain't that the way it's always been with them, pretty much?
Kind of. Well, I mean, back when we started the country, I don't think it was quite like that. They came together and they did business, and they went back home to their farms and places of business and their practices, practicing law and that kind of thing. So I think we started out pretty good. But once politics in America became an actual career, and then they realized that the coffers could grow by levying all multiple kinds of taxes, that created the wealth, that created the power, and that created the careers that they now enjoy.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Roger, I'm ready to fight a battalion there. I mean, letting them...
All right. Well, listen, if you see me riding on a horse saying the government's coming, you can go ahead and open up your garage and let's do business.
Well, I got enough stuff to work on it.
I love it.
No, I'm talking about it's like I talked to a fellow one time. He said my garage is full. He was telling somebody to tell Trump. He said just let him know that if he needs me, I'm ready.
There you go.
I got plenty in my garage. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's an insurrection though. We don't want to talk about.
Don't talk about that.
We don't want to talk insurrection talk.
Well, everybody else is doing it. I just don't see how they can tell us to shut our mouth and don't say nothing.
But I think there is a good cross section of America that's really getting pretty fed up with just being, I guess, patronized and just overlooked, and I think there are a lot of Americans getting tired of the way things work, and that's why Trump was such a breath of fresh air to those, because he truly was one who really could not be bought, could not be influenced by certain special interests, lobbyists, and whatever. So that was frustrating for the Washington machine.
It's always been frustration. Look how long Democrats have been in charge of everything.
Yeah.
We're stupid. They're not.
Yeah. You got some Republicans there that they kind of smell kind of funny when you get close to them too.
You talking about Mitch?
Rich Mitch. Yeah, talking about Rich Mitch.
The whole bus.
Yeah, it's when you get up here in this club, it's a good one if we all work together.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, a good call. Appreciate you being out there, sir. Hope you're doing well today.
Thank you, Roger.
Yeah, Mornings in Meridian, 601-485-9191. And we're so glad you're out there. We want to remind you that when it comes to Toyota dealerships, they're not all created equal.
Oh, you got that right. I'm going to tell you what, Doc's Toyota. I was actually in Philadelphia yesterday. I was making a trip up to the Choctaw Indian Fair, and I was on Highway 16 West.
Casino.
Yeah, exactly. And did actually well at the tables yesterday. Doc's Toyota.
Do share.
Highway 16 West. Folks, if you have not been to Doc's Toyota yet, you need to go check out. It's a beautiful new dealership there on 16 West in Philadelphia, and they've got a good line of Camrys, Tacomas, 4Runners, Tundras, you name it. They've got a pre-owned selection. They've got everything from the affordable beginner cars to luxury items as well. And, of course, they got a great service department there at Doc's, and lots of good inventory. 601-600-3786. That's 601-600-3786. Of course, they're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 until 6, and open a handful of hours there on Saturdays as well. And even the service department is open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon. So if you can't get your Toyota vehicle serviced during the middle of the week, swing by on Saturdays and get it done there at Doc's Toyota, Highway 16 West, 601-600-3786, or online, docstoyota.com. You can shop right there at your computer.
Remember, there's no deal like
a Doc's deal.
That's it. Mornings in Meridian. Good morning, caller. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. How are y'all doing this morning?
Hey, now.
Welcome.
Hi there, Sears. You brought up an interesting point a while ago. You made the comment that you lived outside the city and you couldn't vote in the city.
Right.
What dictates that law when basically we pay taxes for city roads and we pay taxes for city infrastructure, and
Hey,
if you own a business in Meridian and you pay the bulk of the taxes, but you're not allowed to vote because you live outside the city.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Is that a state law, or is that something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
City of Meridian did?
I'm pretty sure that's a state legislated situation where you have to be in the citizen of the municipality where you're to vote in that municipality.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that for 100% sure. I'll have to put our research team, that's the Google crew, and get them.
I just wondered. I was curious about it because the bulk, the business owners in the city of Meridian are the ones that are paying the bulk of the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Most of everything else is on a free program.
Yeah, well, I hear you. One way to fix all that is just incorporate the whole county, and that there are counties that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then all you need is that one sheriff's department.
One sheriff's department, and probably do away with some different offices that you have to have having this. You think about it,
Well, even if you have to make a bigger piece of pie and have more pieces of the pie,
yeah,
you can eliminate the city council, and you just got your 12 supervisors for those pieces of pie.
Mm-hmm.
They can make a judgment there, and then you don't have the city council and the county supervisor arguing about over a whatever.
Yeah, and then the thing you're going to run into though is you can bet your bottom dollar that your taxes most likely in the county would go up more than the city taxes, and the city property taxes going down.
Well, they have already raised our taxes so high. They hire these outside auditors to come in from some other state, and they ride through the neighborhood and they go, "Oh, these people have got nice houses. Let's tax them a little bit more."
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize that's the working people. The reason why we have those houses because we get out and work every day.
Yeah, we'll need to get James Rainey in here to talk about the formulas they use to calculate those things.
But it's been a while since we've had him on. Yeah,
it'd be good to have him on to kind of walk us through that.
Yeah,
but evidently we all we must find it better to live in the county and just kind of make our way back into town when we need to. And I like where I live. It's I live out in the Russell community, and it's yeah, we got gunshots at night. People out there busting caps and practicing out there in the across the way. But fortunately, none of them have struck the house that I can tell.
The bad part is it's less miles for me to go to Philadelphia than it is to come to Meridian. So that's generally the direction I head.
Well, look at you. Yeah, you've got it. Well, and Philadelphia is kind of coming on there, aren't they?
Hey, they are. They really are. You just be surprised.
Yeah.
It's like they're headed in the right direction, and we're headed in the wrong one.
They even got a Lowe's. All right, good stuff. Thank you for the phone call.
All right. You guys have a good day.
You too. Good call. 601-485-9191 if you'd like to be part of the show. We'd love to have you.
And they got them gambling houses, too. That's where Rob was at. He said he was up there gambling.
I just go for the restaurants. That's all I go up there for is just for the food.
Sure.
And I like to order a nice big tall stack of flapjacks in the morning.
Yeah, right. We've all heard that one. Somebody said the joke one time, like if you're at the casino and all of a sudden you see the preacher at the church like walking through. What are you doing here? Good concert tonight. Great concert.
Mm-hmm.
There was only something at the lounge. Good food here. Good food.
Good food, and. Anyway.
Love it.
Well, if you're going to preach about sin, you got to go out there and see it.
First-hand account.
Mornings in Meridian. So glad you're out there. Good morning. Welcome to our show.
Roger, did you say you just read the articles?
I just read the articles? Wait a minute now.
Good Lord.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I finally caught up with you there. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, I just read. That's all I did. Read the articles.
Okay.
Or to quote the aged President Jimmy Carter, I have experienced lust before.
Well, we all have.
Yep.
We all have what?
Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And come short of the glory of God.
Amen, brother. Preach it.
Come
no
on.
doubt about it. There ain't one that hasn't.
But just because you are down and out doesn't mean you need to stay that way. Reach your hand up and get pulled out of the gutter.
And buy my snake oil. No, wait, that's a different story.
I was going to ask you, Jimmy, did you settle down after our busy day yesterday?
I'm telling you, kind of, sort of. But I heard something yesterday, Rob, that really got in my ear.
Yeah.
Do you know why Biden is trying to put Trump in jail?
Why Biden is trying to put Trump in jail?
Yeah, and he is. I mean, it's obvious.
Well,
it's to keep him and his family out of jail.
There you go.
That's exactly what it is. And let me tell you this, a friend of mine sent me a video.
And cheering on the sideline is none other than Hillary Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, go get her. But anyway, a friend of mine sent me a video of one of my favorite people, brilliant guy, Thomas Sowell.
Oh, yeah.
1995, talking about the beginnings of woke.
Wow. 95.
95. And he hit some nails on the head, and we're talking about 28 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And he says it's been going on for quite some time. He even goes back to the New Deal.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it was real interesting. If you haven't any thoughts about it, just Google Thomas Sowell and the beginning of woke, and I'm sure that YouTube will pop up.
If anybody doesn't know, Thomas Sowell is a very level-headed, conservative, African-American
economist, would you call it?
Economist, author, yep.
Professor, et cetera, et cetera. And I miss his articles. Of course, someone had taken his spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's getting on up in age, but boy, just a brilliant guy. Guy. But anyway, you guys stay out of the rain.
Yeah.
And
that was interesting watching those storms build. Usually you have storms build in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
As the earth heats and the moisture ascends, and
right.
I mean, these things popped up right around our area and built before daylight.
Yeah, and it was amazing because I was in Philadelphia yesterday at the fair, and it was beautiful up there, but I'm headed back to Meridian. As soon as I got to Collinsville, it got the dark clouds. I was like, oh, boy, what am I driving into? And that's when the bottom just completely fell out close to that construction. So
I've mentioned this before, but years ago, back in the 60s, I worked at Sears down there on 22nd Avenue.
Sears.
Where, of course, now exists the Children's Museum, that area.
Right.
And every afternoon in July and August and something like that, we could look to the southwest and see those afternoon thunderstorms brewing and coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And they came from southwest to southeast, but weather patterns have changed.
They really have.
Some of these coming out of the northwest, moving toward the southeast.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's interesting, but we know who's in charge.
Sears, you made me think about the days when Dad would go and get a couple of tires for the car, and Mom would go in and get a wrapped-up bundle of clothes for me to start school in.
Well, I can remember when it was on the corner of 5th Street and 22nd Avenue.
Wow.
And
now we're talking about going back.
J.C. Higgins was a name brand, and I purchased a gun in that name. And
okay. Look at that.
It was a trip to go to J.C. Sears and Roebuck.
Sears and Roebuck, yeah.
And we called it Rears and Rareback. But anyway, that's a different story. But they had their service department back on 4th Street and all. But but I digress. I better get out of here before the break hits.
All right.
Somebody else can call.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, appreciate the phone call. Always enjoy hearing you.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Mornings in Meridian, 601-485-9191. And, Rob, we talked about Billy Adam Calvert and Southern Business Supply.
Mm-hmm.
If you had him and Purvis Business Machines, then your business is covered.
Absolutely. Jerry Purvis and Don Lucas and staff at Purvis Business Machines, they have been doing business right since 1979. And, of course, service, not excuses, since 1979. Folks, they got that beautiful showroom over on 4505 Highway 39 North or online. Check things out online. Go Purvis.com. Lease return color copiers. Save up to 85%, folks. heck of a savings right there on some of those lease return color copiers. We got one of those devices here in the studio here at Mornings in Meridian. And, of course, good quality name brand office equipment. They got the copy machines, printers, the all-in-one devices that print, scan, copy, fax, email. They've got it all there for you. Even some shredders there as well, the folding machines. They've got it there at Purvis. And, of course, they got the name brands like Toshiba, CopyStar, Kyocera, and Hewlett-Packard, and many others. Call the folks at Purvis Business Machines today. This is an easy number to remember. We like to make it easy on you. 601-693-COPY. That's 601-693-COPY. Online, go Purvis.com. Service, not excuses, since 79. That's Purvis Business Machines.
Well, the folks in Chatsworth, California, they're probably happy that the 15-foot python that escaped from a California home more than a week ago has been found. Big Mama is the serpent's name. Didn't go far. Luckily, she was found in a neighbor's backyard between two sheds. Her owners say that she's back home but due for a bath after being out and about. Oh, please, somebody help me here. Oh.
My wife just texted in to me. She said that her grandfather worked for Sears and Roebuck once upon a time. He called it swears and send back.
Swears and send back. Oh, man. It's fun to just sit there and look at the history of that company. It's pretty interesting. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite Floridians, John Anderson. Your love is like money in the bank.
That's a good one.
That is. You can hear that on our sister station, 105.7, The Legend.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, John Anderson, good music from back in the, I guess, 90s, too. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of both decades there.
Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, we're glad you're out there, folks. We want you to be part of the show here at Mornings in Meridian. You can call us at 601-485-9191. Almost went my Paul Harvey there.
Paul Harvey.
You can call us at 601-485-9191.
Did get a notice a few minutes ago from our friends at the United Way. Of course, they do their annual Stuff the Bus campaign. And, of course, Roger, that is going on today here in Meridian. They got 2 locations they got set up, one at Uptown Meridian and at Raising Cane's. Of course, they're collecting school supplies today for the local area schools, new or gently used uniforms, monetary donations as well. And I know the weather has been a little bit dicey this morning. Checking out radar a few moments ago, we do have a lot of rain. Kind of scattered about East Mississippi and West Alabama. But as of right now, they are still going with the event today. So it's going to be from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. at those 2 locations. Of course, Raising Cane's out there on North Hills, and, of course, the mall area here in Meridian, Uptown Mall, formerly Bonita Lakes Mall. So you'll see the yellow school buses out there at those 2 locations. And if you got a few school supplies, drop them off, or you just want to give them a donation as you're rolling through. Do that today. So, but as of right now, even with the weather in the area, they are still going with that event today. So just want to throw that out there for you.
All right, excellent. Folks, we're glad you're out there. We want to make sure that we want to say hello to all of our friends out there at Trucker Supply. They're listening because the Carr family and the folks out there, they do listen to the show, and we appreciate that so much. But more than that, we appreciate being able to walk into Trucker Supply and just find all kinds of things that we need. And you too can. But other than truck parts, I mean, if you own a big truck, they have all those things that you'll need, like hoses and brake chambers and all that kind of stuff. But you can, if you're just the average consumer, they've got all kinds of things. What about those Milwaukee tools, Rob?
Milwaukee is the name to go down at Truckers. And you think about Trucker Supply, what do we always hear? You go in there for one item, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. You're about
they have stuff that flies right off the shelf, right into your hand.
You go to the store for one thing, and you get up to go check out, and you got about 15 or 20 things, including a Yeti mug or 2. So, but yeah, the staff at Trucker Supply, fantastic folks at Highway 19 South. You can't miss them right there. They got a big red, white, and blue sign out front. You can't miss it. It says Truckers, and of course they're next door to McDonald's there. And of course they've got Knipex tools, channel locks with German engineering that give you a great leverage like never before, and of course cordless power tools and those Hotsy pressure washers. So, so if you still got that pressure washing project you need to do, they've got them there at Trucker Supply. No, you got one of them Hotsies. And of course, you mentioned Yeti. They got the mugs and all the, they got the lids and all the accessories there with the Yeti products. And, we got the Neshoba County Fair coming up real soon. If you want to get you a new cooler for your fair trip, go by and pick you up a Yeti cooler there at Trucker Supply. Got a good Yeti headquarters there. And it's never too early to think about Christmas presents. So Trucker Supply, 519 Highway 19 South, Meridian.
All right, it's Mornings in Meridian. We always knew that Marjorie Taylor Greene did not necessarily play well with others.
You don't say.
But it was confirmed that she is now no longer part of the Freedom Caucus, according to a report on the NBC News Meet the Press Now. She's not a member of the Freedom Caucus, and she won't be in the future because, according to the folks that they were talking about there, that she she was attacking people within the caucus. So she has consistently attacked other members of the Freedom Caucus in an irresponsible way, and as a result of that, she was kicked out. And that was according to Representative Ken Buck. So he was telling NBC News that. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, no Freedom Caucus. Yeah, we can work together to attack our foe, but let's not fight within ourselves.
I don't think she's on the Judiciary Committee, is she? I don't think she serves on that because I think we would have heard from her yesterday during the Christopher Wray testimony, because I know the two that really got the the highlights from that grilling yesterday. Of course, I've said this from the beginning with Jim Jordan. When they had the whole Speaker of the House, you really can't call it election, but I guess from that process they were going through, his name kept being kicked around for Speaker. But I kept saying on this program, he needs to be in charge of the Judiciary Committee.
He's a good watchdog there.
And he just went after Ray yesterday. And so did Matt Gaetz. Boy, Matt Gaetz didn't hold back either. So, but yeah, with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's been outspoken a lot on a lot of different issues. So,
and there might be some back in her constituency that like that, but there is, regardless of where you're from or what state, what your constituency, you sometimes have to make sure that you choose your battles carefully.
Yeah, and she does. Maybe she upset the apple cart of some of those establishment folks up there.
Well, I'm pretty sure she has. The fact that she's on the Freedom Caucus probably. I'm just going to sit at home this week and count my money. Let's take a phone call. Good morning, caller. How you doing?
Hey, Roger. How y'all this morning?
Hey, morning.
Doing great. Come on in here.
Well, I just wanted to ask you what y'all really thought about Stuff the Bus. I don't know if you'll remember, Roger, when Billy Jack was on years ago and the public schools was discussing going to uniforms. I called in and I said, look, we got parents out there that won't even send their kids with a pencil and a notebook. What makes you think they're going to buy their uniforms? It's just going to be another thing that the taxpayers, the working people, going to have to provide for. And who was right?
Well, yeah, I guess the fact that you say this is a United Way program, though, that shows that it's more voluntary. It's not tax.
Oh no, I know it's voluntary,
yeah.
But I think we don't need to do it because I think the parents need to be made to do it. Personally, I mean, like I say, when you have a child, you're obligated as a parent to take care of them. In my opinion. Okay, and when my wife and I were in our 20s, we decided we'd have 2 children, and we thought that's all we could afford. Okay, and I think you should not have a child if you can't afford to take care of it. Now, I just don't think by keep rewarding them or giving them free stuff is doing the right thing for the parents that don't take care of their children now. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I would have to be the one that would agree that I know that when I went to school, we obviously were trying to make a living on an old milk farm with 12 cows, and just I knew pretty early into the school season what iron-on patches were. But I always had the basics for school that Mom would go get down to either the I guess Ben Franklin or TG&Y, whatever. She happened to find some stuff for school, and that would be the notebook paper and the pens, pencils, and some of the basics. So I always had that. That was not something that we had to go ask anybody else for. I do get that. It's just a crazy time we live in now, Tony.
I know. And there again, I just don't think rewarding bad behavior is what we need to be doing.
Well,
that's what we're doing.
Well, not all these folks are in situations where they're not giving a good effort. I mean, we can't discount folks that are trying to make a good effort and they're just falling a little bit short because things are a little bit higher now, and there may be folks that are involved in that program that need a little bit of a leg up, maybe, so that are giving a good effort. We just don't know every situation, but majority of it.
No, we don't. But I mean, I would think that your child would come first before other things.
Sure, I agree. Yeah,
wait a minute. You put the child before the cable bill?
Right. Exactly. The cell phone bill.
Put the child before my unlimited texting and data package?
Exactly. And like I said, years ago, when I said we're doing the uniforms, what a mistake we're making to try to make everybody feel good. Uniforms make me think about my granddaughter. I have a little granddaughter who played softball this year.
Yeah.
Her and her team, they played for the playoff and lost, but everybody got a medal. I said, what's that teach them?
Yeah.
I might add.
If you lose, you're still going to get a medal, right? And I don't agree with that. But that's the way life is right now, and you reward everybody for good or bad behavior. I just don't think rewarding bad behavior is the way we ought to go.
Well, and I got a comment here on Facebook Live. Says some grandparents in the program are raising grandchildren, and those grandparents are on a fixed income, obviously. So.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with that. And you do feel sorry for the grandparents. So where's the child? Where's the one that had the baby?
Yeah.
where are they in prison or where are they?
Yeah.
And that's my thing, that we just keep rewarding bad behavior. And I just, the stuff, the bus, I know when I was in business, they used to call me about donating that. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that, because I really feel like my tax dollars go to school now, and my kids never went to public school. But I don't think that I need to reward bad behavior. And that's the way I've always felt about it. But anyway, I'm glad there are people that feel different. Everybody has that right. And I have my opinion, and other people have their opinion.
I think what I'm hearing,
obviously,
I think what I'm hearing from you, Tony, is just I think it's a frustration with the overall, I guess, society of where we've come. I think you're like so many frustrated about at what point did caring for a child become second or third or fourth priority for parents or grandparents?
Right.
Absolutely. And then no responsibility. You have a child, and they feel no responsibility to take care of it or raise the child.
And I will make a point that when I was wearing my tough skins with patches and had my limited little bottle of glue that paste, I guess it was paste and crayons, a little small package of crayons.
Yeah.
We didn't have a phone at the house. There was no telephone at the house, and our neighbors probably wished we would have gotten one, because they they would have to travel up and let us know if there was an emergency or something. But
Exactly.
But what I'm just saying though, my parents knew exactly what it was to do without, so that their kids could have something.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
My parents, I can remember growing up, Roger, and you didn't go. Your vacation was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Clarko. That kind of thing. You didn't because they were taking care of us and trying to save money to send us to college.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. I remember my mama talking about the worst whipping she ever got in her life was jumping rope with her school shoes on. She forgot to take them off, and she got on the stool, and Mama caught her jumping rope with school shoes on, and she said she tore my legs up with a switch. For jumping rope with school shoes.
See, that's
you have to come home and put on your shoes from last year to jump rope. You can't jump with school shoes.
Now the parent that does that today would be called. They would call the child welfare department and they'd be investigated.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. But that's what happened. But guys, I just wanted to give you my opinion. Roger, it's always good to hear you on the radio.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it very much. I appreciate you being out there.
Y'all have a great day.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
601-485-9191. And there's, and let's just face it, I'm not trying to diss United Way, but there's been a lot of comments and controversies about, the Stuff the Bus is a good program at face value, and it is, it's good. But if people are showing up and taking advantage of it that really have the means to care for their children and they're just getting free stuff, then that's not good either.
Yeah, but until we know exactly who's getting what and where it's going, we just have to kind of take the program for it is what it is type thing.
It's kind of like citizens of Meridian eating daily at Love's Kitchen because they can.
Exactly. So, but, and of course, we can sit here and
there's a lot of different ways you can go with this.
And think about it is we can sit here.
Not dissing Love's Kitchen.
Yeah,
just saying.
Yeah, and we can sit here and we can talk about that program and this program or whatever, but, we always encourage folks to buy local all the time. Do you really buy local all the time, or do you shop behind a computer? Do you really stick by what you say?
Now, if you want to make me mad, let me tell you the story about me coming up just like I just did. Mm-hmm. And my hardworking parents feeding and caring and educating 6 kids.
Yeah.
And then somebody step up to me and say, well, you're privileged. You come at me with that privilege thing, and I guarantee you, I won't physically harm you, but I will certainly give you a retort that you will never forget.
I know, right? They don't know the whole story. They only see, what do they say? They see a cover of what they think is the full, but what is the chapters in the book. So
the only privilege that I have had is to have enough health to be able to work hard all of my life and to, make a home for my spouse and my child and all the rest. So that's, if you call that a privilege, all right, I'm going to say it's a privilege from God that has allowed me to have the health to do that. So
Yep.
I will say that, but don't say that just because of a race or whatever
Oh, yeah.
that I'm privileged because I worked hard for what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
which isn't that much. It's just, it's good, we're all rich here in America,
You've
really.
been blessed.
Well, there's that aspect of it too, but I always kind of hate to say that because I don't think God really blesses somebody more than anybody else because material things aren't always blessings in that regard. Anyway, not to get off into the Sunday school.
That's fine. We'll take up an offering.
I hear you. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's tell folks to go buy Jeffrey Wilson State Farm Insurance. How's that?
Oh, Jeffrey Wilson. We always talk about the insurance side with Jeffrey Wilson, which he'll take care of you on the insurance side. Of course, he'll do a good combination of your auto and your home insurance, and of course, he offers a lot of different options in those areas. But Jeffrey's just a community-minded fella. He supports a lot of different things around the Meridian area here in East Mississippi. His office is located at 2401 Highway 39 North here in Meridian, right next door to Woodstock Furniture, close to AT&T, right across the street from the EMEPA building there on 39. Go by and see him today and talk about maybe combining your homeowner's insurance and your auto insurance. A lot of good options there. Renter's insurance, stuff for your business. And once again, that's at 2401 Highway 39 North in Meridian, 601-483-8253. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. State Farm agent Jeffrey Wilson, JeffreyWilsonAgency.com. He's on the intranet.
Ah, there you go. Go by and see him, and they'll be happy to talk with you. He's got some good folks working for him over there.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, it was on this day. Well, I'll tell you what was on this day when I come back. Let's take a break here for a couple of bills we need to pay. Because we're not that privileged. We really have to pay bills here. We have to write real checks from the radio station.
I said the lights have got to stay on.
And the microphone doesn't stay on without paying the power bill.
Privilege.
It's Friday night, baby, get ready.
Sing it, Rob!
Oh, man, you're one of my favorites, man. I love Aerosmith.
Oh, man. It takes me back to teenage. Oh, look at you. Do a pretty good Tyler.
Yeah.
All right.
Got to lose a couple of 100 pounds, but, other than that, grow my hair out. Oh, wait a minute, hair, that's a problem.
That's the song. They're always saying that at the doctor's office. Walk this way, please.
Now, for Joe Biden, it takes a little extra effort to walk this way.
That's the Joe Biden theme song now. Mr. President, walk this way. Mr. President, walk this way, sir. Mr. President, Walk this way, please.
I mean, if you put like a pint of ice cream in front of it and say walk this way, I imagine he'd have a little extra pep in the step, right?
Come on, you're doing good. Keep it. Watch the sandbag.
Oh, bless his heart.
I'm sorry, we are making fun of the elderly, and we shouldn't be doing that. All right, back to the matter at hand. Well, let's talk about some good folks in town. I'm talking about Tony at Tony Southern Sportsman. You don't have to have some big box place like Cabela's or these other big box people when you can just go right down to Front Street and talk to Tony Krill at Tony Southern Sportsman. He'll get you everything you need for your sporting goods.
Everything. And folks, we're talking about for any kind of hunting season you can imagine. And folks, even tune your bow up for hunting season as well. And
big box can't do that.
That's right, they can't do it. And of course, they got a good line of gun safes down there at Tony Southern Sportsman. Fishing season, everybody's out on the water right now trying to get that big bass in the boat. And Tony's got all the fishing tackle gear there, and of course, fishing shirts. He's got a good line of those as well. Check those out. Ammunition. Tony's trying to keep it stocked there on the shelves for you down at Tony Southern Sportsman, and he is so easy to find. 1724 Front Street in Meridian, right across from the Farmers Market. 693-411-1111. That's easy to remember. 693-411.
Well, let's see. What's 411? That's information.
Yeah.
If you want the lowdown on sporting goods, go down to 693-4111. Yeah.
Four and all ones.
There you go. That works. Easy to remember.
There you go.
All right. Well, it was on this day back in 1960, a couple of months before I came along.
Yeah?
That Senator John F. Kennedy of Massachusetts was nominated for president at the Democratic National Convention in Los Angeles, California.
Wow. How about that?
Or otherwise known as receiving his death sentence.
Oof. Man. How about that?
I mean, you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, that was a 1960 Democratic National Committee.
And that was just the first chapter of the Kennedy story.
Yeah.
Bobby, let's see, that car crash with what's her name, that, and now we've got
about
another
Mary Jo Kopechne?
Yeah, we've got the new Kennedy out there. So yeah, it's an ongoing Kennedy story. So
well, it was America. What we forget, folks, is that when he ran, of course, his opposition was Richard Nixon, who had been vice president for 2 terms with Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a very close election. I mean,
yeah,
this was not a mandate, or this was not a overwhelming majority at that time. It was a very, very close election.
That was one of those days I was awake in history class. Toby would be proud. I remember that lecture.
But anyhow, just a little brief note from history. And speaking of that, this show is now history. And we'll do another one tomorrow. What do you say?
Programming note, Clay and Buck today will have presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy will be on Clay and Buck later on today.
You just like saying that.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Do it very well, too.
Yeah, I try. But anyway, folks, that'll do it for us.
Remember, God bless and buy local.